The two that are the most important in my mind have to do with Social Security and have to do with Canada. First of all, the president knows that everything he said about Social Security was a lie. All of those facts have been debunked about how they're sending all these checks to people who are 120 or 135 years old. The president must know these are lies, but the American people need to know that there's a reason for these lies. What they are doing is that they are buttering people up to feel like it's a terrible program that's doing terrible things. Now, 69 million people in this country receive a Social Security check every single month, and in its 80 years of existence, they have never missed sending out those checks. There are people who can eat because of their Social Security checks. There are people who can live lives of a minimum level of dignity. Many of them absolutely panicked listening to the president last night. So American people know what's really going on here. He knew he was lying. But Musk has said he wants to cut out 12% of the workforce. So the president, it's a bad cop, good cop thing. The president comes on to say, oh, it doesn't work. It's a terrible program. It's a mess. So then what can happen is Musk can come in, get rid of 12% of the workforce. The former head of the Social Security Department says this could completely break down the entire infrastructure and those checks could stop being sent out. This is a way to start privatizing Social Security, and it's terrible. Well, also, I'm sorry, and then we'll talk about Canada.
Let me just respond to that real quickly.
Okay.
Privatizing it is not getting rid of it. It would be making it be run more efficiently, like Musk has done with many of his companies, including X, where he reduced the workforce by 80% and can still deliver the same product. If they can do that with Social Security, that's savings they can pass on to you. It's not to give people smaller and smaller checks, but to recognize that this system will go broke, it will go insolvent. My generation, people younger, are paying into it and are not going to get a dime out of it unless it's fixed.
Okay.
And you should. I don't think it's right to view it as a government
job.
First of all,
it is working, and the way to remedy any problem we would have with the future is simply to remove the cap. Is to remove the cap so that people be paying into it at a slightly higher level of income. So Social Security is not a mess. That's the point. They're creating the idea. It's like our parklands. It's not a mess. Consumer protection. It's not a mess. What they're doing is making you feel that it's a mess so that Musk can get rid of all these
paychecks smaller.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. It's a tactic, a deliberate tactic on their part. Oh, it's failing. Oh, we need to privatize it. And contrary to what Robby says, privatizing it will not make it more efficient. It will destroy it. So he's wrong. He doesn't want old people to be able to get their checks. He wants them to have financial trouble because he's a demagogue.
That's what Democrats are going to campaign on?
No, I'm not saying Democrats are going to campaign on anything. I'm saying right now that the program is working.
Raise the cap so that more of your paycheck every year goes into this government entitlement program.
You know, maybe because you're young, you're not thinking about the 69 million. You can't even imagine, nor can Musk imagine, what it feels like to be an older American. Your usefulness to the economy is greatly diminished. Your body is beginning to break down. And those Social Security checks make all the difference in the world, whether you can eat, whether you can make sure that you will not be one of those 700,000 homeless people living on the streets. This man is at this point, and this is emotional abuse as well as excuse me?
What about younger people who can't afford to start families and purchase homes?
Social Security.
Dude, that's not the problem. Social Security is not the problem then. You're just wrong. They're not being paid enough. Their employers are not paying them enough. Maybe we should raise the minimum wage.
It's not the problem there. Those Social Security checks being given to your grandparents is not the reason why you're having a problem with the economy. None of these things, all the things you were talking about in your talk about how it's so great that we're getting rid of that money so it can go to the people. It's not to go to the people. It's for tax cuts for billionaires.